Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Confessions from the Darkside from the Confessional. On today's episode, we are going to be discussing religion.
More of an opening.
Yeah, it's
basically.
more of an opening into a series we're going to do, and at the end of this episode, we will get into what the next episodes for this series are going to look like. But this is an opening and an intro to religion in horror movies. I guess possessions, stuff like that. But before we get into any of that, as per usual, we have a disclaimer. We are full of so much adult content. I cannot speak today. Some may think that this is unnecessary. Some of you may think that this isn't needed. If you are one of those people, then thanks for checking us out, but I will say this only once. If you can't stand the heat, get the fuck out the kitchen. Now, for everyone else who likes what we have here, then regular scheduled programming will continue. Shall we get started? Are we ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Guys, this episode and these upcoming episodes for this series are actually going to be something that is an interesting topic. Darcy and I are not exactly your fun-loving churchgoers, as I should put it.
Goers?
Yes.
Really?
Churchgoers, yes.
No.
But we are here for, again, as always, the weird, the creepy, and the horror, and the supernatural. Can't forget that. I mean, that's just in there.
That's just a given.
That's just a given. So let's get into this. Let's get into this episode. I am LunarXRising.
And I am Darcy Darkness.
Well, Darcy, how you been? I know earlier today you were kind of like iffy on wanting to do an episode, but
I'm letting my brain basically make a lot of decisions when it's not really thinking things out. So ignore any messages that come through before like 11 a.m.
You say that, but I mean, who knows?
I sent you a cool gift. Cool gift of Gene Wilder saying strike that, reverse it, because you would understand what I meant. Just ignore what I just said. Yeah. That's fine. Everybody has those days. It's Monday. I should have expected it. How's your Monday been going?
Well, seeing as I had the lovely day of everything sucks off from work, I'm doing pretty good. And then I have Wednesday off. But other than that, it is Monday. As you can tell, we've already had a couple word mishaps and stuff like that. But at the same time, this is what we're here for. We're just normal people, just like you guys. We're here. We're going to have accidents. We're going to have mishaps. We're going to have incidences on where we can't speak.
Yes, it happens.
It happens. But for the most part, we're here. We love you guys. You guys think like us. I mean, we're all right people. I mean, Darcy's more amazing than I am, but hey.
Oh, you're just so full of it today.
I haven't had enough alcohol in my system to be full of it yet, sweetheart. Trust me.
Well,
don't.
Oh my god. Just
Anyways, continuing on. Do you like religious themed horror movies?
Yes, I do.
I do too. Do you think they have saturated the market with it?
Yes, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. Or is there not enough? No, there's plenty. Yeah. But they do seem to be working on it a lot better now than what they used to. Like, obviously, we can't forget the good old prime days of The Exorcism.
Yeah.
And they definitely kind of bounced back and forth, with the quality of makings of movies.
The sequels, the prequels.
Yes, the sequels, the prequels, all those lovely pieces of crap. Anyways, it's a big, sensitive spot for a lot of people.
Do you not think, though, that we're kind of coming to the end of a cycle? See, when we spoken about before, like if you miss the vampire, werewolf type thing, and aliens, it's the same with like religious horror movies. Like there was all about exorcisms, and it was all about and possessions, and it's like end of the world, apocalypse. We've not had an apocalypse type like sort of genre go on for ages. It just kind of always goes back to possessions and demons and good versus evil, basically.
Yeah, it does. I mean, honestly, the last decent apocalypse movie that I can actually think off the top of my head. And it's not really even a horror movie. Book of Eli.
See, I was gonna say like End of Days because that had loads of different aspects in it, and it was messed up.
No, I could definitely agree with you there. I was thinking more Book of Eli because it definitely followed suit to the Bible, the Rapture, and not only that, it had one of our favorite actors in it, Washington. And there seems to be a pattern in horror movies when religion is the main focus of the story and plot. Why? Well, from the research and our own views, the conclusion is that for the plot and story to be strong using religion, mostly Christianity, by the way, which we see a lot of in many different genres within horror, as a basis, the big bad or the church is the savior. Most of this, again, is what draws myself back to why is it good versus evil, and why is God used as the good and not the bad? Why is it one-sided where the demons and the deaths, it's evil and not good? Why is it like this? Why not create a horrific plot without religion? And why is it the main basis for the vast majority of horror movies? Which I agree. The one thing that I do agree and disagree on is a lot of the religion in horror movies, yes, is Christianity. But when it comes down to it at the end of the day, majority of it, because a lot of religion in horror movies has to deal with exorcisms and stuff like that, is also Catholic based as well.
Yes, I didn't want to just focus on that because some people might go, "What?" But it's Catholic, it's Catholicism. It's not
Yes,
really a
it's
based on anything else.
no, it's definitely a mixture between the two, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of religious horror movies nowadays are self-centered. And yes, I use the word self-centered around
Mhm.
exorcisms.
Yes, that's the
Why?
only thing that happens in
Yeah.
Christianity, obviously.
Well, that, and on top of that, it seems like when you do religion or you do like demons and angels and stuff like that, it seems to be the only surefire way to catch somebody's attention, especially when it comes to people of religion. Like you have those big, I think I said it before the podcast, churchgoers. Well, I don't like throwing it out there too much because I don't want to sound like an ignorant ass. But my mother, she is big into Christianity. She goes to church every Sunday. She goes to church every Wednesday. She's
That's a
very
whole
big
lot
into
of
it.
church. That's a whole lot of church.
Yes.
2 days?
2 days, yes. And then not only that, my stepdad is a pastor as well. So
Oh God, I'm
yeah,
sorry about that, man.
like
Oh,
my mom mentally slaps me in the back of the head every time I say "goddamn." Whew, buddy.
you're like
Um.
me. I say it constantly.
Oh, trust me. When I am around my mother, I gotta bite my tongue half the time because a lot of stuff
I
that
couldn't.
goes on or anything like that, the first words want that come out of my mouth want to be "goddamn."
God. Oh, so you're just like God.
Oh, yeah, she hates it because goddamn, using God out of context or anything like that, she immediately says you're disrespecting him.
It's taking
So
the Lord's
it's
name in vain.
yes,
Oh
absolutely.
God.
And trust me, it
There we go.
drives
I
me
just said it.
it drives me nuts. And then every time I talk to my mom, have you found a church yet? Are you praying? Are you
Why? What's it gonna
no?
do? It's gonna do nothing. It's gonna do nothing.
I was like, if I want to learn about God and the disciples and all that, I'll read the Bible. From what I hear, it's actually a good book.
I'd rather wipe my arse with it.
So, guys, as you could tell, listening to this, if you guys are religious believers, you already know where we stand on this. Don't hate us. Don't. It's
I
just our
no,
opinions.
I
Everybody
just
has
want
an
to
opinion.
I do want to clarify though. I was brought up as Catholic. I've been baptized. I am technically a Catholic. Until I write to the Vatican and say I want them to remove my name, technically I'm still classed as a Catholic, even though I am pagan. Most people who are to look at other religions and follow another religion or another religion's kind of like the way they do live their life, not necessarily be part of that religion, are usually Christians. Most likely Catholics, in my honesty, because most people I know have actually returned to paganism or maybe Wiccan or Druid. They have changed their religion due to the fact that how they were brought up in a crazy cult that is the biggest probably cult of them all. Not Scientology, not Jehovah's Witness, it is Catholicism. So that is why I am the way I am because growing up, it was terrible. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I'm anti-Catholic in a big way. And if that's for you, then that's fine. but I just will never, ever, ever step foot in a place.
Yeah,
I swear.
and I myself actually grew up with two different religions. Actually, three, if I want to be technical about it, because my family is of German Jew descent, so I do have Jewish in me. Throughout family years and past, was baptized Christian, went to a Catholic church on Sunday with my dad. So, seen
That
too
is a
much
lot.
church.
Yeah, I think you have, man. That's messed up.
Anyways, continuing. Uh, well, in this series, from the Confessions from the Darkside, we delve into these movies and we'll also discuss things about these movies in their own unique subgenre, difference and evolution of these movies, about the religious fanaticism that seems to be saturated in horror. Where do we even draw the line? Evil, religion, fiction? Will this podcast piss someone off? Absolutely, yes, I definitely think it will. But it's us, and well, we are used to that.
Yes, we are.
So religious horror is a subgenre on its own, but the subgenres, say that really fast.
Sub, yeah.
Wahahaha. Subgenre.
Yes, I just like keep saying it. I was like, I couldn't. I was getting tongue tied. But it's actually
Subgenre,
technically.
subgenre,
I was.
subgenre.
Oh, just you shut it. Just because you're. Hey, you. You get tongue tied just as much as me sometimes. I don't know. It's like a subgenre. Technically, it is because it's a subgenre of a subgenre, but it's also a topic. So I'm not sure. You can say sub if you want because it's fun.
Yes. Sub.
Yeah.
A few movies, a few of our favorite movies, which, to be quite honest, I know it was your opinion because you wrote this up, but you pretty much did a damn good job naming most of the list of mine as well.
It's as if we're the same brain.
We pretty much are, and it's sometimes creepy.
I know. It's great, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it is because, like, even though I'll sit there, I might actually be thinking of something, and be like, oh, let's get this to Darcy. This would be a good episode for us to do. Next thing you know, right when I pull out my phone, oh, look, 5 messages. I was just thinking that. What the fuck, Darcy?
I'm not psychic, I promise, because if I was, I'd literally be like using that. I'd be totally abusing that power. Sorry, but I would. I'm being honest about it.
I don't blame you. But yes, it's funny, like, even though Darcy and I talk on a daily basis and stuff like that, but when it comes to, like, the ideas for movies and stuff like that, we don't always discuss it until we actually send the idea to one another.
Yeah.
So when I'm sitting there thinking of stuff while I'm at work to do, thinking of stuff that, hey, this might make a good episode, and then I pull out my phone, and next thing you know, it said that she wanted an episode about this. Well, I was just thinking about doing an episode of this. What the hell, Darcy? I was like, well, at least I know we're on the same page. Now we have to discuss what we're doing.
Exactly. See, if we were complete opposites, I would hate to see what our podcast was like because you live in a different country, another part of the world. So if we weren't on the same fucking page, then we'd be fucked, mate. We'd be fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, and our podcast episodes would be pretty much all over the place to where when you send me the list, and I can sit there and go through it and read through it and be like, oh, well, I definitely didn't need to come up with any ideas for this one because look at that. She got my few. So
I feel so I was like, oh my goodness. I just feel so, oh my goodness. I'm like, I was like, I am awesome.
It is almost like you know me better than I know myself sometimes.
That is a cheesy pickup line or cheesy line a guy says to someone.
I was gonna say it's not a pickup line. You're married. I respect it. I'm not trying to pull you there, Darcy. Besides, you're halfway across the ocean, and I don't have the money to come visit. So we're SOL on that part.
What does that mean?
SOL?
Uh-huh.
Sorry, out of luck.
Right, I didn't know that meant. Oh my goodness, I'm like, really? Did not
Even
know
though
that.
it should technically be SOOL, but the of does not get a place in that. Sorry, out of luck.
So went
is
from
what
soul to school? From soul
Yeah.
to soul, even.
Yeah, it's a weird acronym that we use. I don't know why, but it's there.
Now I know a new acronym and I'm very happy today, thank you.
You're welcome. The betrayal of religion for me seems to be here is a situation all avenues successful. We need the church. We need a priest like the church can wash it all away, and how can this be done? In reality, there is much scandal and pushed under the rug gossip in the world of Christianity, and yet there are so many movies showing them as the savior of all, yet they are far from it. Most likely, the cause than the resolution. So, again, guys, like I said, what we're going to go I'm going to go through, or Darcy can go through, one of the two, is opinions of what our favorite movies are, but pretty much throughout this whole thing,
We'll be talking a lot about not just our favourites, but the ones who kind of actually stand out for the different topics in that subgenre. Like the ones that actually, if you said name a cultish horror movie, what would you say? Do you know what I mean? It's like most of the time I'd say
yeah.
something like Wicker Man because that's about cults. Or you would
Yep.
probably say Midsummer. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like that where we're going to describe basically each and every category, topic in the subgenre. When they have their own episodes, we will discuss the movies that describe those genres the best and the ones that are our favourites, and we'll pick at the things that we don't like about them as well. That's pretty much what we're going to do. That's what we do with everything, so you should really
Yep.
expect that from us.
Absolutely. And
And
guys, the list
also,
that we're doing today, again, this is just an intro episode to our series for this kind of movie, but these are our favorite religion movies out there. Horror wise or cult wise, or however you guys want to put it. And like I said, Darcy did pick a hell of a list to add favorites in, because I'd say probably 99% of these movies are my favorite.
so what one's not your favourite if there's a 1%?
To be honest, it's going to be The Wicker Man. As
Oh,
much as I loved the movie, it
Like
just
you better be talking about the original and not that fucking Nicolas Cage one. Even though I love Nicolas Cage, the memes are much more funnier. And Wicker Man's not supposed to be funny.
yeah, Wicker Man's not supposed to be funny. No, it's the remake that wasn't my favorite. The original did perfectly fine. It just was kind of threw me off a little bit, but I liked it. I don't know what threw me off. I'll have to go back and rewatch it and then let you know. But there was something about it that threw me off. But the list and our favorites that follow are going to be The Prophecy.
All of them.
Yes.
Right.
The Rite.
Mhm.
The Pope's Exorcist. And guys, we know this is a newer one,
Fucking brilliant.
but
Man.
it was brilliant.
Russell Crowe's the man.
He is. And to be honest, seeing him in The Pope's Exorcist, it kind of makes me feel that's kind of how the actual, Catholics work, because I know he's an alcoholic, but it seems like they're just not all "In nomine Patri, Filii, Spiritus Sancti" all the time.
No.
And seeing Russell Crowe portray that made me kind of love those kind of movies a little bit more and have a little bit more appreciation, because it's like, oh, well, they're not all, cute and cuddly and, shining with bright light all the time. Next one on the list is of big fucking of course, which is The Exorcist.
The first one, not any of the other ones, and we've not seen the new one yet, so.
No. The next on the list, The Omen, End of Days,
Yes.
Children of
Oh,
Corn,
yes.
Stigmata,
Oh, when she was hot.
Carrie. Yes, I will agree.
So was
And The Wicker Man. She was. And I'm not going to lie, quite honest, the Chloe Grace one wasn't actually half as bad, but it still was not great.
Give me the original every time.
Yeah, the original every time, absolutely.
She
But the Juliana Moore and Chloe remake, again, was not.
Oh, Juliana Moore wasn't that bad though when I think about it. She actually kind of has a creepy kind of
She
look
has
about her.
she
But
has a
that's not a
very,
bad thing.
very creepy look to her. And not
Right.
only that, she portrayed what's the word I want to look for? A religious zealot way too well.
It's like she's probably Catholic.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
the way she was in that movie, she was your typical I
Bible thumper.
follow the Lord's book to a
Bible
T.
thumper.
Yes.
That's a crazy, not just fanaticism. That's pure.
Yes.
Like, she will beat you to death with her Bible because she's trying to tell you the Lord's plan for you. Even though she's killed you with the Bible, she doesn't think she's done
Exactly.
anything wrong because it was God. She was talking about God and the Lord.
Yeah,
That's where these people are like, they're fucking mental.
and she even did. I mean, because her daughter went out to a prom, because her daughter was talking to
Oh my
boys. She
god.
locked them in a closet. She locked her in a closet. I mean, and basically made her, I think it was pray. And it's like, I get it. You want to raise your kids if that's the way you are. You want to raise your kids to follow that. But pushing them is going to drive them complete opposite direction.
Yep. You're just making them walk out that door and never come back.
Yep. So there are 2 questions for me that Darcy had added.
Yes.
How many of these do I like? All of them. Like I said, 99%. The Wicker Man was the only one that was kind of like, yeah, for me. What are my favorites out of here? Stigmata.
For what reason? Good soundtrack. The fact that Patricia Arquette was still hot.
All the above. Yes. The Exorcist, of course, the original. And then I will have to throw the Pope's Exorcist in there.
Just 3 you're going for?
I'm just going for 3. Everything else, yes. I mean, if I really wanted to be, if I had to pick any, those are going to be my 3. But out of everything, minus the Wicker Man, everything's my favorite out of this list. The Omen showing the rise of Damien, or Damien, being the second coming. And not only that, I do believe you have, in the next following list, you have the very top. Something about kids in horror movies that drive me absolutely fucking nuts because they're creepy as shit.
Yes, they are. That's what I called it. Creepy child.
Yes.
There's always a creepy child.
Like, even in The Sixth Sense.
Wee Haley. That's a shame.
Yes. I mean, not just him. It's the fact that pretty much everything that he saw in the movie surrounded mainly kids. I mean, yeah, there was a few adults in there, but mainly they were either kids or teenagers.
That's just warped.
Yeah, I mean, it's creepy. It's terrible. Kids in horror movies, I mean...
Really? Do you really hate it?
Yes. But if we wanted to go add another one into that absolutely had nothing with religion, but it had to do with kids, we could easily throw Sinister in there. But we're not here for that. We're not here for that movie. That'll be probably definitely another discussion that we will do because
we'll probably do a creepy kids one because there's far too many. Because you've got things like Orphan, where it's not actually, sorry, spoiler, a child, but she looks like one, and that actually is based on a true story, and that girl still walks about today. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, that is a extreme case of dwarfism.
Yep, and it's
anyways. Yes, the movies are usually based around the battle of evil or the devil, or even Christianity. Yet the research into limited, and things never add up. And how many times have you thought to, well, that doesn't look right? Always. Way too many times. So let's check out our favorites for any of the following. Creepy child.
Yep.
A questionable rock or metal star. Absolutely. A questionable religious guru that is a cult leader in disguise.
Yep.
One too many times. Gullible followers. Yes. Old Testament type events. Absolutely. Your favorite word?
Fanaticism.
I just wanted you to say it because I know you love that word.
People
Demonic. Yes. Demonic entities. Undead abominations.
Yes.
And then the last one, which is actually quite true. Lessons. If you believed enough, then this wouldn't have happened. Like trying to back with "I told you so." Coincidence? I think not.
No, definitely not. What was a lesson? That's what it's like in Carrie.
Exactly.
If your dad didn't leave, or if you weren't born, your dad wouldn't have left, and all that crap. Yes, it's like.
Kind of going back to demonic entities. Everybody has seen the for some reason, popular Paranormal Activities movies.
Well, I've only seen one. I've not subjected myself to the rest because the first one was shite.
Yeah, well, be glad you didn't. I actually sat there and watched it just because I knew eventually we were going to get to a demonic entity episode, and, well, I subjected myself to the horrible torture of what Paranormal Activity is. Throughout watching the series, there actually is the very last one called The Marked Ones, which is more of a cult portion of where this entity came from. So it's actually kind of interesting, but there actually is another kind of resembles Paranormal Activity, and I think it's called Paranormal Entity. And this one, not the greatest movie again, but I think you'd kind of get a kick out of it. You wouldn't get a kick out of it, and you would get a kick out of it. Because when you think of demons, demonic presence, you think of violence, you think of murder, you think of a bunch of stuff. Well, the demonic entity in Paranormal Entity is actually a sex demon.
Of course it is.
And he does, torture and terrorize the family that lives there. But the very last portion of the movie, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, does end up having sex or are, depending on how you want to depict it, the sister of the household. But he is violent, and it's obviously a, presence that is there known. But it was interesting, but it kind of dealt with kind of like the same thing as Paranormal Activity, all camera shot, all that stuff. And I don't know if I've expressed this enough throughout most of the episodes or if I've even talked about it. I'm not big on camera shot movies.
No, not really.
They're always.
Boring.
I get that they're supposed to be handheld camera shot. I get they're supposed to be. They're supposed to look like homemade movies, but they're always way too shaky. They kind of make me nauseous a little bit, and they don't keep my focus.
No. Not.
So this is part of a where we'll be breaking down each subgenre and their topics, as it's a huge subject to cover. So let us know which religious horror subject makes you happy and excites you, and we would love to know. Our list of what we are going to be going through in this next 6-part series is we're going to be breaking these down per episode. Possessions and exorcisms, cults, based on true events, hell dimensions, worse than depictions in the Bible, apocalypse-type biblical proportions, and the Vatican. If we have missed any subgenre of these that we are going to break down in these next 6 episodes, let us know before we get to the final one, and Darcy and I will discuss it and see if we want to add it into a 7th episode or an 8th episode, depending on how many we get, or we'll do a 7th episode and maybe combine them, something like that. But I think that's something that maybe we could do. If we do get somebody who brings into an idea from what we didn't do, we can definitely add another episode. If it's before the last episode, or we'll do a separate episode. But as of right now, guys, we are going to do a 6-part series to religion, cult, all that stuff for the horror genre. Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm fine.
Alrighty. Well, guys, this is the intro to religion and horror, their subgenres, and what is our upcoming plans for this series. Remember to like, share, add, subscribe, follow, and comment. You can catch Confessions from the Darkside on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. If you want to see more of us, catch us both on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. Again, guys, that is the conclusion from Confessions from the Darkside, the Confessional. I'm LunarXRising.
And I'm Darcy Darkness. Later.
Later.